Hello and welcome to my channel Adventuring Mum and Borrowed Tum. My name is Lisa and this channel is all about the adventures that I go on with my 4 beautiful children, reviewing lots of our days out and also about my life as a surrogate and everything that encompasses. Please, if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with any new content that is posted, and don't forget to like the videos and leave any comments or questions in the spaces down below. So today's video is all about how to become a surrogate, the different processes, the different routes into becoming a surrogate, the physical side, emotional side, clinic side, and some key points. I'm hoping that this video will be incredibly helpful for new surrogates, but also for some IPs to watch, and also for surrogates in other countries to see how the process works here in the UK. So in the UK, surrogacy is not illegal. It is, however, illegal to charge somebody to be their surrogate. You cannot make a profit from being a surrogate in the UK. You cannot advertise your services as a surrogate in the UK. You can, however, have expenses as a surrogate, and they are completely legal and completely accepted. They will vary between surrogates depending on the kind of expenses they have, but I will cover that in a different video. So to become a surrogate here in the UK, you can go through 2 different options. You can either go independently and find your own match through different groups on different social media avenues, or you could go through an agency such as COTS, SUK, MSJ. There are a lot of different surrogacy agencies out there for you to choose from. I would suggest doing your research to find out which one would be most suitable for you. Now, the main thing to remember with surrogacy is that nothing is legally binding. You will go through an agreement with your IPs. That I will also cover in another video, but it is not legally binding. Nothing in surrogacy is legally binding. It is quite important that you're aware of that, and quite important that you know that and know the implications of that. So your whole journey is based completely on trust and on the belief that both parties are going to do as they agree in their agreement. So it is quite important that you spend a sufficient amount of time getting to know the other party and ensuring that you are in agreement with all of the important things that could come up along the way. Another thing that I feel is important to mention is that here in the UK our laws are very outdated, which unfortunately means the surrogate remains as the baby's mother until we go to court and sign over our rights at the parenting order. I will go through that again in a different video, but until the parental order goes through, legally the surrogate remains the baby's mother. That is regardless of IVF, of gestational surrogacy, of traditional surrogacy, regardless if the baby's biologically yours or not. Also, that means the surrogate has to sign the baby's birth certificate. If she is married, her husband will also have to sign the birth certificate. Unfortunately, that just is the law at the moment, and hopefully that will change very soon. Okay, so all that being said, now let's look at the actual physical side of becoming a surrogate and what that involves. So if you're going to go through an agency, they are going to request that you fill out an application form that will have lots of questions about you and your family on there. If you are going independently, obviously you're not going to need an application form, but there is a lot of delving into your family and your history. So be prepared to share that information. You will need to have a police check. You will need to declare any health complications or any mental health illnesses. Ideally, you would have already had your own baby and completed your own family and not want any more children of your own. Clinics are going to request that you are between the ages of 21 and 40. This is usually the ideal bracket. It's not set in stone and is negotiable depending on which clinic you go with and which agency you are using. They would prefer you to be a non-smoker. They will need you to have counselling. So you are going to need to have counselling either with the agency that you go with or with the clinic that you're going to use. But either way, you will definitely need to have quite intense counselling to ensure that you are ready for the process. You're going to need a GP referral. So your GP is going to have to write a letter to say they have no objection to you becoming a surrogate. They feel you'll be able to manage the process, etc. You are also going to need to be emotionally ready for this journey, being a surrogate is not easy. There are lots of ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and it can be quite a hard process to go through. So ideally you're going to have somebody around you to support you through that process. Now, believe it or not everybody gets surrogacy. Some people are not going to be supportive of your decision to be a surrogate. However, it would be very nice and very helpful if you could have somebody, whether it be a partner, a friend, a relative, who is on your side throughout the journey. You will also find lots of support groups around on the internet that can help. You need to be trustworthy. Okay, being trustworthy is a main element of surrogacy. You need to be open and honest and able to talk through any difficulties with your intended parents. If you can't be honest and open and trustworthy, this is not the journey for you. It can be very, very difficult. Time is another major element. You need to have the time to be patient, time to form relationships, time to get to know people and really get the foundations of that relationship moving forward into place before you start facing difficulties within that relationship. Surrogacy is about patience. It requires resilience. It requires dedication. It can be a really, really hard journey. Is it worth it? 100%. Yes, it is. But be prepared that it is not just going to be an easy ride. You need to be strong enough to deal with things along the way. You know, miscarriages can happen. Chemical pregnancies can happen. Failed attempts can happen. It's not always going to be the journey that we would like to have. You also need to understand the risks that go with pregnancy. Any pregnancy has its risks. This one is going to be no different. HG, thrombosis, loss of fertility, problems during labour, ultimately death, hopefully highly unlikely, but it is a possibility. So you need to do your research and be prepared and know that you are putting all of that on the line to help somebody else. Don't go into this closed-minded. Do your research, watch the videos, find out everything you need to know so that it doesn't come as a shock to you later down the line. Then we have the clinic side of things. This is where it gets all rosy and lovely, or not. Okay, so the clinic side of things. Okay, so you're going to have your consultant appointments. They're going to go through a lot of formalities with you. So you're going to need your GP's referral. You're going to need to do sexual health screenings. You're going to need to do blood tests and vaginal swabs. You're going to need to do a lot of stuff that is not necessarily very comfortable. It is also important to mention that some clinics are going to ask you to have legal advice. It is the most ludicrous thing that you need to have legal advice to tell you that what you are doing isn't legally binding. It's a crazy world we live in. However, some clinics are going to request that and will not proceed with treatment unless you can prove that you have had legal advice on the matter. So again, your intended parents will cover that under your expenses. Your clinic will also need to check out your counselling. They will need to check out your GP's referral letter. And if they are happy with you to proceed, they will then need to start checking you physically to ensure that you are able to do the journey. So this can involve lots of internal examinations. So first of all, they may physically examine you to ensure that your body is able to carry a pregnancy and they don't foresee any physical problems going forward. Once you've actually started the process, there will be more internal examinations to check the sizes of your eggs and your follicles to see if you're ready for transfers. There will also be early pregnancy scans, which are again internal scans. It's not all lovely, but it is all essential. You will also need to find a clinic that is happy with the route that you wish to take. Some people want to go down a no medication route. Some people need to go down a fully medicated route. I'm going to do a different video on medicated cycles and lots of the different medications, but be prepared. Those medications are horrible. No doubt about it. Okay, so medications, there's a whole range of medications. The main ones are injections, which you are going to need to do every single day. 90% of them, clinics are going to recommend you do those. Every single day, injections to yourself, and also cyclogest, which are awful little pessaries. You either enter them anally or vaginally, and they are not very nice. They make a mess, and Ask any surrogate, they are disgusting. They can cause bloatedness, they can cause diarrhea, they can cause thrush. They're really, really horrible little things. Lots of the medications have side effects, but I will again cover that in a different video. So once you've understood all of that, the clinic process, you know, the emotional side, the physical side, and everything it takes to become a surrogate, if you are still ready to push forward, you then need to spend the time to meet your intended parents or to meet the people that you're going to help. How you're going to do that, again, I will cover that in a different video. So I hope this has all been helpful. I hope this gives you a real insight into what is going to be expected of you as a surrogate, and for anybody else watching, of what surrogates are actually going through in order to help people have their families. So please do watch the next video. I will be going over agreements, I'll be going over expenses, I'll be going over medications. So I shall see you on one of those. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, leave any questions in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video. I shall see you all again soon.